That's true. That's true. I can assure
It
that.
will not break. It will not
We're
break.
here.
It broke.
Don't blame me for like a crappy mic and your heat stroke, okay? Let the audience know about that one. Yeah.
All we saw was the white label. We just saw the white label, not the actual dice.
Oh, we saw it, but they.
Oh,
they
okay.
saw it.
I was gonna say. I was like, you just showed everybody the label. I have eyes. I know what they look like.
Yeah, he doesn't care about us. We're just the players.
Exactly.
Look, well, that's you're just a crazy person sitting in a room going, roll for initiative, roll for initiative, roll for initiative by yourself. And it'll be different
You heard it
cameras.
here
He has to
first,
move
Chad.
from chair to chair.
Pause. You are not hearable on stream.
Oh. Well, they're not missing anything
I
important.
just verified it. Yeah, you're not hearable on stream.
Died.
Well, that's cool. Welcome to Delve Requisite.
Please stand by.
Wait a
And
minute.
while we figure this
Stream
out,
nerds! Thanks for letting us know, chat.
Oh, we had
That means they didn't hear your lovely spiel.
It's Tuesday.
so-
We got some sponsors.
And what I said
Check
made
them
no
out.
sense.
Curtis's mic was broken last week, and I had heat stroke. Let's
Okay.
hit that recap.
And I said something very funny in response to what he said. That's all you need to know.
And these are little Dragon Corp dice. Oh, they're my green screen, because they're green dice. My green screen has made them invisible on the stream. Anyway,
Oh, so the
Nice.
stream didn't even see him.
no,
you're trying to give me
the dice
stats.
are invisible.
that
The
that's amazing. Yeah.
It's great dice.
Invisibility
dice
dice.
of invisibility.
Yeah. Normally, other dice companies make you pay extra for the invisibility, but it's standard for Little Dragon
You get
Corp.
invisible dice for free.
It's definitely not just an empty plastic case.
It's got floating numbers on it.
Let's see.
I like them.
You can see my
Some high quality dice right there.
Those are some high quality. Oh wait, is my arm? Part of my arm is invisible too. So the green
Yes.
on my tattoo is keyed out by the green screen. Anyway, so we've officially
Welcome to Delve
started
Requisite, a real
streaming-
professional
started streaming
operation.
with the volume not working. We've done done 2 pretty bad ad reads. We've played with green screen. We've done about everything except actually start D&D. So let's give a recap of last session. You guys are in the London city of Wildemount, which is the not the birthplace of Bram, but the place that manufactured who Bram is today. The Bram we all know.
Bram starting zone.
You were sent here originally after taking a job with your Dinam Libri to go and track down a particular tome that had been sent in this way coming into the city here, which you have currently tracked to a particular auction house in the ritzy part of town, located on this high-rise sort of plateau portion of the city. And while biding your time to go and scope the place out, you paid a visit to a music hall / tavern called the Twilight Royale, owned and operated by 2 individuals by the name of Reynard Icewind, who are, you learned, 2 individuals who helped smuggle Bram out of the Ignean Empire as a child, and still sort of maintain some connections to that lifestyle of smuggling people out of the oppressive clutches of the Empire to freedom, but spend a lot more of their time owning and operating this establishment here in the city. Bram was given some life advice. We discovered that apparently Reynard and Icewind have, as with pretty much everybody else it seems like that you guys meet, have a connection to one Torian Adrian, and have intimated that there is some chaotic times on the horizon. But you guys now have left the Twilight Royale the following morning after kind of your night there speaking with the 2 of them, with some information. At least Bram has some potential information, as he has been asking for details on the Brotherhood of Mortanis. Reynard and Icewind suggested that there is perhaps someone in the city that he knows who would be better to approach for that information. And of course, you still have your original task, I think, brought you here in the first place. A auction house to scope out, see if you can't find the final fate of this particular tome that you guys are looking for. So, I will turn it over to you. We load our save file as the party loads onto the street of Volrenheim outside the front door of the Twilight Royale. Call it about 9 a.m.
All right. Still smells like old feet out here, but
Certainly better than some taverns that I've visited.
yeah, but you'd think it wouldn't be this bad outside.
What?
True. I'll get used to it. So, Bram, where are we headed today?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say we just heard that apparently Matt is too low and Guribot is too
Working
loud.
on that.
Okay. Okay. Where we headed? We're going to the literal shittiest part of the city. So, if you were planning on wearing your nice clothes, don't.
Well, too late. These are my nice clothes. They're also my shitty clothes.
Sad for you and everything about your life.
What are nice clothes?
Oh boy, this is a real depressing conversation we're having right now.
Lead on, Bram. Let's.
Okay.
Like Oz has changed his loincloth in like 3 years. maybe.
We never mentioned that Oz only wears a loincloth this entire campaign.
You never asked.
Pink latex hot pants. That's Oz's outfit. There you go.
So we're gonna head.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
No. So we're heading to the shitty part of the city. So what
Yeah.
do we need to do?
All right. First thing is, if you have any valuables on you, I would leave them, like, in your room, because they will get stolen off of you.
That's gonna be a hard no for me. If it gets stolen, then I'm going to be removing fingers.
I understand the sentimentality, but if you could also maybe not be the scariest thing that has ever walked.
I don't plan on starting anything, Bram. I don't plan on that.
He just plans on finishing it.
Yes, exactly. And what is with me stays with me.
All right, here's an important question for you, Oz. Are the things that you have on you that are valuable things that other people would find valuable, or are they just Oz valuable?
I think my family's ashes are pretty valuable.
Okay, so valuable to nobody else but Oz. Cool.
I mean, you don't have to be hurtful about it.
I'm gonna try to pat Oz on the shoulder, but really only be able to reach his elbow. It's like family is the most valuable thing.
Yeah, but urchins don't want to
thank you,
steal
thank
your
you,
family.
Walter. Well,
They
they
want
don't know
gold.
what's inside that, though. Well,
What's
I do
inside
have
your family?
10 gold. I do have 10 gold that I just found around for the last couple days.
It's true.
Yeah, you just have this uncanny ability to just find gold randomly. It's
I know.
amazing.
I know it.
Randomly.
It's
He's
crazy.
real annoying
amazing.
'cause he doesn't care about gold.
I don't.
I mean,
I don't. I just
it-
find these shiny things, and apparently it's
it-
important.
It kind of
Can't
worked
stop
out.
finding the gold.
It
Can't
kind of
stop
worked out.
finding gold.
I shouldn't say it worked out, but it did mean that there's a brand new tree in Walter's house. Well, not quite his house, but almost his house.
True. That's true. That's very true. You got a wild daughter there, Walter. I like her. She's cool.
Keep her away from people like us.
Very
I
much
mean,
so.
that's probably a good idea.
Keep her away from people
Anyway,
like
okay.
yourself, too.
All right.
So you
So
had
we
a contact in the worst
yeah.
part of
What
town?
was the name of that guy again?
Okay, yeah,
Not
so...
that Three Fingers guy, is it?
No.
I
No,
don't
he's
think, I don't think
somebody
he can survive an encounter with Oz.
somebody much more... Yeah, I mean, he's already... If Oz is going to start pulling off fingers...
Oh,
That guy...
let him off, not pull him off. That's worse.
guy's got a lot less chances than most people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull him off, and I'm not going to instigate. I know what to do. Big man, tiny city. I get it. But if anybody tries something
I
fresh,
don't know if you've literally looked around, but it's
Pulling
kind of a
off fingers.
gigantic city.
not to me.
Yes, I know. We're all bite-sized to you. All right, Bram, let's get going.
Yes.
Okay,
Let's
so
go. Let's
here's the
get out of
thing.
here.
We're going to a part of town called the Scab.
Yeah,
I think the name should imply everything that you need to know about what the Scab is. But basically, it's sort of the slums of the city. And the various parts of the Scab are ruled by various, essentially, gangs. So, nobody's wearing chartreuse, right?
No.
Cool, because if you wear chartreuse in the wrong area and the Scab, they'll punch you in the butthole a lot.
I'm going to use disguise self to change my outfit into the grubbiest possible version of an overcoat and cloak type deal going on.
That's
no
absolutely
change.
acceptable. I would like to express my relief that Bram went, if you wear chartreuse, they're gonna punch you in the butthole a lot. Immediately, which then prompted you as Walter to go, I would like to use disguise self to
I
change.
100% thought he was going to change.
When to
to
make
a
my
full
clothes
circle
chartreuse
jacket.
didn't come out of your mouth, I think we all collectively sighed a breath of relief.
Even Walter's butthole sighed.
Sorry, I had the Twilight Royale special. I
Aelar casts
the
Mage
dumbest
Hand
thing I
and
ever
is
said
just
on the
flapping
show.
a piece of parchment to blow away the stench.
Okay, I could just use Gust.
No.
Gust.
No,
Because
that's
you're
what
gonna
got us
blow
in
it
this
up.
situation.
Okay, so most important thing of all the different territories, the biggest territory and the biggest bad guy down there is a guy named Garl. Call him Garl the Rat King. Basically, he's really into rats, so that's where the names come from.
Is it a metaphor or like?
No,
literal
like
rats?
the animal rats. And he's essentially got a network of urchins working for him.
Bram, I ate
Yes.
food here. I ate food in this city. I have concerns.
Walter, we're in a major metropolitan area. You should know that you are within 10 feet of a rat at any time.
Oh, you have a rat speech for Valderheim?
Make
Okay,
go ahead and make a perception check real quick.
All of us?
Walter?
good thing I have a +0. Hey, how's a 15 look?
Huge rat, like 1 foot from you. Just-
I'm gonna use Gust on it. just push it back in the alleyway.
Alright,
It's a DC
you-
13 strength save.
you use it's a what?
It's a DC 13 strength save.
Okay.
I can move it 5 feet away from it.
Walter, you like clap your hands together and a small gust of wind like rumples the rat a little bit and it like turns and gives you the finger. And it just like scuttles off into a gutter.
That rat knows what's up.
They rolled a nat 20 on its strength.
Nice.
Uh,
Oh, this explains so much.
Scooter pokes out from one of Aelar's jacket pockets, also gives you the finger, Walter, and then pops back into the coat pocket.
and Bram is like, well, I guess everybody's doing it.
Alright, let's
Right then.
let's go
Onward
to what is
like I
still
said.
the worst part of the city.
Yeah, keep all your valuables close. And anybody don't get too close to anybody down there for safety reasons and also sanitary reasons.
Alrighty. So you guys are heading
Yes.
off for the territory of Garl the Rat King. Okay. So you begin to head. Actually, audience here can only just see it behind me. Here on the map is kind of the location of the city that you guys are heading to. As Bram informed you, you head to the area of the city that is referred to colloquially as the Scab. The Scab being the largest and probably most well known of the slums within this this particular city, and even across all of Voland, this Scab is this sort of like famous place. So Walter, it's actually possible that like this part of the city is not. You've probably never been to it or anything, but like it's essentially as if like Bram just told you he's taking you to like Harlem in the 90s. Like it is famously like an unsafe place for outsiders.
Drive-by crossbow bolting.
Yeah. You begin to make your way through the city. And one of the things that becomes apparent as you begin to make your way towards this portion, you can actually see it from a little bit of a ways off, because the portion of the city known as the Scab gets that name because at some point it seems that there was a huge fire that burned down like a swath of the southeastern like quadrant of this city, and a lot of it was never really properly rebuilt. So from like a distance, and from like especially from like any elevation, it shows as this like sort of abnormally boundaried black sort of like marred splotch city, kind of like a dark sort of ragged scab across the topography of the city. You guys make your way closer towards this, and the city itself certainly gets seedier and more dingy, more dirty, more closely packed. The buildings are smaller, the people are less well kept. There's more people that appear to be living out on the streets. You encounter a lot of like sort of these ramshackle lean-tos have been built into like alleyways and along the sides of some of these defunct buildings. As you get into the neighborhood of the scab proper, you see that a lot of the buildings are, where they still stand, are little more than these like burned out husks, upon which the denizens of this area have sort of like junkyard style, like constructed their own little city inside the bones of the previously existing city. So none of the roads or streets or passageways, nothing is straight or level or even. Everything is like twisting corridors and back alleys and side passages and places where you have to sort of like go, several blocks in the wrong direction to be able to make a turn that's going to lead you, the right way. Following Bram, you're able to kind of get where you're heading without too much difficulty. But it would be very, very hard to navigate this area for someone unfamiliar with it. The people that you see are unkempt. They're wearing, threadbare garments, a lot of them. You see dirty, sort of rail-thin children, most of whom don't have shoes, just sort of like flitting between the buildings. Those individuals that don't maintain a carefully constructed indifference towards anybody else around them either stare off in sort of a kind of a dead, glassy-eyed expression of sort of destitution, or lurk in shadowy corners watching passers-by, you yourself with almost predatory expressions. You get the sense at all times that you are being sized up. Or about a block, a group of individuals who cannot possibly be more than teenaged. You think 14, 15 perhaps by the looks of them. They kind of like pull out from a side alley and kind of follow you for a little bit. You can sort of see as you've got your, peripheral vision. You see them kind of like sizing you up. They seem to be debating something internally amongst themselves.
If I pick up on that, I'm gonna
Sure.
start like dropping my copper coins out of my pocket by accident on purpose.
Interesting. Okay.
Like not all. Like I have 9, but like 1 or 2 will drop out, and then like a couple, like a block later, like maybe 3 more will drop out.
Okay.
All 9 eventually will come out of my pocket, but
They follow you guys. And whatever they were kind of discussing, you see there was a lot of like glances in the direction of like the sheer bulk and size of Ozrius. And you get the sense that whatever debate was taking place internally among this group was there was a faction of it that was taking into consideration Ozrius, and Ozrius was seeming to be just with his presence some sort of a dissuading factor. But as you start like dropping these coins, you definitely like see them come pick it up. And they collect these, and these coins seem to keep them engaged in following you. Just turn up the music on groovy. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Make a everybody make what's everybody's passive perceptions? Actually, I should say
10.
11.
10. Actually,
18.
mine is 12. Passive
12?
perception is 12.
Okay. Ozrius and Aelar. You guys notice it's nothing so direct as an outward like spoken agreement between this group of like sort of young ne'er-do-wells. You couldn't even necessarily say what it is that like kind of like jogs your attention, or like it's kind of the hairs in your neck stand up. But you can kind of like your spidey sense tingles when it seems that this group of about 6 kids, teenagers, come to some sort of an agreement. And it's as you guys like peel, you like turn into a sort of a narrow, poorly lit, kind of darkened side street that is via the construction, this ramshackle construction that's been built onto the surrounding scaffolding of the buildings, has created this like almost like a tunnel where there is no exposed sky above you guys. So you enter into this like kind of shady, darkened corridor, and perhaps they pick up the pace just a little bit to like close gap with you, or perhaps just something about the energy, like the kind of vibe of their energy changes, and you can tell that they have come to an agreement. They are like about to jump you.
Very quietly, in Draconic, I say incoming.
Can I quickly just turn around and stare? Not say anything?
You can. Make an intimidation check.
Yeah.
Yeah, Aelar turns and starts drawing his rapier to...
Deception. Come on. Okay. 18.
It's deception, not intimidation.
Oh. Is it deception or intimidation?
What's that? You said intimidation.
I mean, it's still negative. Okay, yeah.
Right.
Sorry.
I was having you make intimidation.
Great. Yeah, that's a 6.
Oh.
I wasted that.
Wow, I slip and the rapier slipped out of my hands. I rolled a natural 1.
You're great. Still just gonna stand there. I don't know how intimidating it will be, but
Guess what? I'm wearing chartreuse.
Of course you are.
You guys turn around. Bram, Walter, Ozrius, and Aelar, Aelar mutters this, kind of like puts up a hand. The two of them stop and turn. This group of ruffians approach. They close to about 15 feet away from you guys. And one of them, who kind of seems to be maybe the ringleader of this gang, is a boy, can't possibly be older than 16. He's kind of wiry in a way that speaks of a lot of hard physical labor while suffering from malnutrition. And he has just a simple kind of tunic, pants. He's barefoot, He has just the like kind of the beginnings, the ghost of like facial hair starting on his cheeks, and he steps up to you guys, and his kind of like little crew spreads out behind him, and he looks and he says, "It's a awfully dangerous part of town for people like yourself who don't seem to be around here to be walking around. Perhaps my friends and I could escort you to somewhere a little bit safer."
And I like Bram holds up his hand to like stop anybody else from. It's been a long time since I've been around, but think you should know, kid. I'm the danger in this town.
Make an intimidation roll.
That is a
Natural 1.
no.
On the town
26.
Oh boy.
You see the so the of the 6 of them that are standing here, it is four males and 2 females. One of the other boys, maybe looks to be slightly younger. At the very least, he's shorter than the one who's speaking to you. He like sort of reaches out and like sort of like taps the wrist of one of the 2 females. And they don't exchange any words necessarily, but you see him kind of give her like a set of eyes, and she like waves him off with a expression. One of the other ones you see slips what looks to be like a jagged piece of glass with like rags wrapped around one end of it to make like a handle. Like slips that out of somewhere in his like his tunic and just holds it kind of at his side for now. The one that you had spoken to, like you see his like his jaw slides forward and his like he kind of like straightens up a little more. Make an insight check, Bram.
It's gonna be 15 plus 3.
He says, awfully shiny boots and clean clothing you got there for somebody who thinks they're so big and bad. You don't look like you know exactly what trouble means in this part of town. And he says that to you, and he like he's like putting out this bravado, but with that insight check, you can kind of see the little glimmer of like uncertainty in his eye that he's trying to mask his like nervousness with this sort of tough exterior that he's presenting to you.
I will take several steps closer, almost like right up to him and look down from him, and I go, "Kid, I was fleecing this people on this street long before you were even a dream in your parents' eyes." And then he like rolls up his sleeve and shows like on the inside of his wrist, there's like essentially what looks like a burn that's like a G, but the G is like a rat tail.
You see his like eyebrows shoot up into his like he's got like sort of like shaggy kind of like unkempt hair. His eyebrows like shoot up and disappear into his bangs, and he says, "You work for Gull?"
I used to work for myself now.
He says, "What are you doing here then?"
Well, we're here to pay old Garl a visit. It's about business.
The other like urchins behind this main one are like exchanging like glances and whispers. And the main one says, "This the kind of business that Garl is going to be happy about, or the kind of business that is going to leave trouble in its wake?"
That depends. Depends on if Garl remembers me or not.
He takes a half a step back. And he says, "Okay, look. We don't need to continue this conversation. Maybe it's just better off for everybody if we didn't see you and you didn't see us."
Smartest thought you've had all day, kid.
Let me give you some advice. I lean down like right into his ear, and I say, "You're gonna meet a lot of folks like Garl. Best to not get involved with them in the first place." And then I'll slip like a 1 gold piece into like his like coat pocket or whatever, like whatever.
Okay. He doesn't react to the gold, though you get the sense that it is an impulse that you can sympathize with and you understand very well. The impulse of like the coin in his pocket has become as much a liability and a danger to him as it is a potential boon. So he's not drawing attention to it. He steps back and he says,
Do you want me to make a sleight of hand check for how stealthily?
"Sure, yeah, you can do that."
That's gonna be 18.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of like slip that into his pocket. You notice that he like notices you have given it to him. You're not hiding it from him, but you do it in such a way that you don't think that others like noticed, and he does not draw any attention to it. And he kind of like turns over his shoulder. He goes, "Hannah, Lars, Mikhail, Jeb, Lottie, let's go. These people are on their own business. They don't need our escort after all." And the group of them away from you, back to the end of the alleyway. Kind of several of them like shooting you glances, and then they round the corner and they vanish.
Well, that's handled, shall we?
Yep. Aelar picks up his rapier, sheathes it, double checks the grip, wondering why it slipped out of his hand.
I guess that's one way to do it. That's fine. Let's go.
Violence may come later, Ozrius. Let's not fight everybody in this area first.
Fine.
I'm gonna let you guys in on a
following
secret.
the rules.
I'll let you guys in on a secret. Violence is definitely coming later.
Well,
Yeah.
glad I didn't have to waste a spell then.
This Garl guy's not exactly a bastion of goodwill, huh?
No, he's the literal worst, Walter.
They sound lovely.
To give you a hint, I got this when I was 12.
Pretty rough, honestly. Stars are rough. It's okay, Bram.
I mean,
Let's
if you need help cleaning up old messes, we're here anyway.
say we're already here. We're not going anywhere. So why not?
All right, let's go.
You guys proceed. Bram leads you on your way. And you eventually you come to a portion of the scab here that is built in this tight cluster of buildings, some of which have been partially rebuilt, and seem to have been almost fortified in a way that, like, your approach to this particular portion, you are kind of forced via one particular path, as like the gaps between some of the buildings where they exist have been like thoroughly blockaded up and boarded up. There are what appear to be a it almost has the impression of like a swap meet, in that there's like, you kind of enter into this area and there's like grubby little stalls and like tables and things have been set out. There is you see there's like essentially like a barrel fire where somebody is cooking what looks suspiciously like rats over it. There is somebody who has got this like table that just has like, just strewn with like all these like scrap bits of like rags and cloths, like partial pieces of clothing. There's this whole area kind of looks, it looks to you, it is sort of the underworld, the slum version of almost of a market. You know, as you look around, you don't necessarily see like coin really exchanging hands, so much as like things are being bartered and traded for. You know, somebody goes over there and they trade. They have like one sort of worn out boot, and they trade it to the guy who's cooking rats over the fire. They give him a boot, and he gives them this rat. It is all being like watched over by a handful of these sort of heavier built, like muscle bound, slightly better dressed, in the sense that like they have shoes, and you know, their clothes are slightly less patchy, and they carry these like hefty looking like pieces of wood that have been some of which have been like wrapped in wire, or like have had like pieces of metal like nailed onto them, are kind of like keeping the peace, like some strange version of like a guard, a city guard. You draw a number of like glances as you are by like far and away the cleanest and best dressed, and most heavily armed individuals anywhere in this area. Bram. You see at the back of this kind of market space, there are these like ramshackle walls that have been built out of haphazardly constructed pieces of wood, pieces of loose metal scraps, just anything that can be like jammed together to make these walls. And there is like a heavy looking gate, essentially. And there is an individual sitting on top of a barrel, smoking a cigar. It is an individual that you recognize. He has been doing this job of like sitting out in front of the gate of Garl's like little area, since you were a kid. The man's name is Warwick, and you know that he you kind of like Warwick. He was always a decent enough sort to you, and you know that more or less like he's an amicable enough individual, who will, without like a second of hesitation or remorse, like break both your legs and throw you in a river if like he's ordered to do so, by Garl, or if you like try to trespass into this area that it is his job to guard. But he is sitting in front of this gate, and you know that behind that is the entrance to Garl's little kind of bunker area.
All right, everybody be cool. And we'll approach.
Okay. He looks up. He's older. It's been, some decades since you've been here. Where, the Warwick that you remember was this, large, muscle-bound, sort of like he always had this like very deep, bushy, like black beard. His dark colored complexion was always sort of this. He had a very almost like lustrous, luminous complexion to him. And age has sort of like dulled his skin a little bit. He's got a little bit of an ashy tone. He's got some wrinkles around the corners of his eyes and his mouth. He's lost most of his hair. His beard is sort of a steely gray now, where white has intermingled into like the tightly kind of knotted black of his original hair color. He has acquired a scar that runs like almost perfectly straight, like right across the top of his forehead, like the middle of his forehead this way. And he is, kind of like, as you approach, he sort of takes a drag in his cigar, blows out his smoke, and he looks at you, Bram. Well, he looks at all of you, but he kind of like, his eyes settle back on you, and you see one of his eyebrows kind of goes up a little bit, and he says, "Take off those fancy clothes and rub a little bit of dirt on you, and I'd say you'll just look the spitting image of little Abraham." And then he kind of grins and he says, "Been a long time, Repluck."
Not long enough.
He kind of says, "Well, ain't that the truth?" He looks, he says, If I don't step outside of the bounds of polite conversation, I might point out that it's got me just a little bit nervous that you're coming back here after all this time with your friends here. You seem to be carrying rather a lot of weaponry. What's your business in the scab here, Repluck?
Got a proposition for his royal filthiness. And let's be honest. Do you come to the scab lightly armed?
Fair point. This proposition of yours, you wanna give me some of the details?
Nope.
This is
Less you know about it, the better.
This is interesting. Well, that makes my job a little bit more complicated. Not having any details, I can't rightly make the decision on my own whether or not you can go on through the door. We're gonna have to wait for the boss man to make that decision for himself, then, aren't we?
That's fine with me.
He kind of nods and he sort of looks off and he says, I expect he'll make a decision any time now. I assume he already knows you're here.
Probably.
And a few seconds of like kind of silence pass. And he goes, "So, how about them sports teams?
I haven't been keeping up with any of the Londian sports teams, but
boy.
I have to say, when I was younger, I used to think you couldn't get any uglier, and goddamn was I wrong.
That's a fair point." He like touches the scar on his forehead and he goes, "Son of a bitch hit me square in the head with a 2x4.
Yep,
He's dead now,
that sounds
but
about right. Oh, yeah,
I
good.
have this." Shakes
Well,
his
he probably made better on the deal. He's dead, and he doesn't have to walk around with a face like that.
He says, "Oh, I forgot the wit on you, Rebluck. Oh boy. Oh.
I'm gonna whisper to Walter and be like, "That was a little mean. That was a little mean." I was like, "Who the hell is this guy? This is a little mean, don't you think, Walter?"
I mean, if we stay quiet and let him keep doing this, he's gonna get ball tapped, and we're not gonna have to worry about it.
True. You got a point there. Okay, good luck, champ. Tap him on the shoulder. Okay.
Did I hear any of that?
Are you guys attempting to keep from being heard?
Yeah, sure. I'll do it. Yeah. What is that? Was it deception?
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
What am I making? An insight check?
Let's call it a
15.
A deception against a perception check.
Okay.
That's an 18 on the deception check.
Hell. It's only a 16.
So Walter was higher. What was Ozrius's?
15.
15. So you kind of hear Oz mutter some stuff. The truly offensive things came out of Walter, which you kind of didn't catch exactly what he said.
Didn't hear.
Warwick didn't roll very well either, so he's not paying attention. He's mostly focused on.
He's focused.
Aelar's standing casually, but he's got his eyes open and ears very wide open, looking for the ambush.
So Warwick continues to sit on this barrel. He continues to smoke his cigar, and he says, "I tell you, I really hope you're not here to make trouble, Repluck. There's enough of that going around currently. The last thing any of us need is somebody else coming in here looking to shake things up, or crack some heads, rip somebody off, or carve out a chunk of territory for themselves. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what your business is here, but for old time's sake, I hope it's peaceful enough, eh?"
I got no interest in the scab, so...
This is, that's good. Most of the time, you got no interest in the scab got no interest in you.
Not my experience, but...
He kind of grins and says, "Unless, of course, you got something worth taking." But, and whatever he's going to say next is cut off as, like, the door opens and a young man comes out, in his 20s, and he comes over and he, like, sort of nods to Warwick, and he says, the boss said there was some peoples out here that he wanted to talk to." And Warwick says, Alright, I figured he'd know about him. Okay. He says, run along, tell him they're on their way. I'll see him in. He kind of says, okay. And, Warwick turns back to you guys and goes, what do you know? Looks like the boss is in the mood to see you.
Fantastic.
He kind of gets up. He opens this large door. He says, "All right, let's just have him over here on the side table for safekeeping until you come back out." And he like nods at the weapons at your hip.
I'm gonna lean over to Bram and say, is the no chartreuse rule still in effect?
Is the what?
The no chartreuse rule?
Yeah.
No. I'll dismiss the disguise self, so I just have regular brown robes again.
He arches an eyebrow at you. Okay. So the rest of you know weapons, and you need to deposit everything that's on your person onto the table. He looks at you, he looks at Bram, he goes, is he an idiot? Or does he just not think I've never seen anybody that can do magic before?
Yes.
Alright, I don't know what kind of nonsense you use for your spells components or whatever's, but all of it.
Aelar's gonna glance over at Bram, arch one eyebrow, like, should I? Or should I not?
I'm trying to think of how one would say disarm yourself, but don't totally disarm yourself with your eyes.
Okay, make a performance check.
I have no intention of...
Because I essentially want to be like, maybe keep something on you, but be sneaky about it. But I don't know how. What am I making a deception? What?
You can make a performance check.
Okay. That's going to be a 19 plus 1, making it a 20.
So, you have very expressive eyes.
Aelar's just gonna heave a big sigh, slowly draw the rapier, set it on the table, pull out the short bow, set that in the quiver down, pull out the hand crossbow, set it down, set the bolts down, and he's gonna roll a sleight of hand check at advantage. That's 20. That's a 22. He's secreted a dagger on himself.
Okay.
Probably that magical dagger, the one that cuts and the wounds reseal.
Okay.
He'll drop a, he'll pull a dagger out from behind his coat and drop that in.
He nods.
Back in 1 second.
Okay.
There's no way that I can successfully hide a javelin.
Yeah, I
or
don't know
create-
how one would conceal
No,
a dagger or a 6-foot-long
about
javelin on their person.
You're standing real straight there, Oz. What are you doing?
Don't worry, I'm just a walking puppet. It's cool.
I'm gonna put my entire backpack on the table there, and then I'm going to use the magical python to secure it down.
Cool. Okay, yeah. You plant that into place and use the ability of that magical python to make it immovable, essentially.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can I? Okay, I'll give up my stuff. Oz will start like just kind of staring down a little bit at this gentleman, kind of just like putting my things
He's
one
actually
after
not
another.
that much shorter than you. He's pretty big.
I don't care.
Of like the people that you
I don't
are
care.
you usually encounter, he is one of the ones who is like closer in size than most of most people to you.
And I will still stare down at him like
You're
he's
still
a
able to
small
like
person.
stare down your nose at him, but he's only about 4 or 5 inches shorter than you are.
I will stare him down. I don't care. I don't care his stature. Either
He
way,
looks at you like you're like your old chums. He's got sort of a vague smile on his face. He seems for all the world like this is routine, and he's just
I don't care.
going about his day.
Yeah, in Ozrius' mind, it's just him and Ozrius' fists just meeting rapidly. I'm going to put up my stuff, but I'm going to try to hide. Or I guess I don't really have to give up a magical acorn, right? To them, it's just an acorn.
Because Walter demonstrated that Walter is a user of magic, he's like taking anything he can find that he might think is a spell component off of Walter, but he does not seem to have extended that thoroughness to you guys. So I don't think he would. I don't think he would suss out an acorn on you.
All right.
My ruse is complete.
So I'm going to just, I guess, put my javelin and great axe and great club on there because I can't really conceal those, and keep my magical acorn, my
Nice,
one magical acorn.
Like he's not making me go in there in my underpants, right? He's just
no, he does not seem to be too worried about that. As long as you like any jewelry that you were wearing, like magical or not, like it's off. Your pack makes you like turn out your pockets and things like that. So like any like stuff that you had on you, he insists you like put down. But once he's like fairly satisfied that you don't have like a pouch of spell components or like some kind of an enchanted amulet or something hidden on yourself, he's good.
I'm going to directly hand him my Book of Shadows.
Okay.
Which is my
Sure.
spell book. I'll just say we'll keep it quiet. I'll be back for this in a little bit.
Good. Okay. Throws it on the table. Okay. So you guys are directed inward once you have.
Well, also I was gonna say I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
put my weapons on the table.
Yep.
But I will hold on to. I will leave Bianca strapped to my back.
Okay. He doesn't seem concerned about that. Just a musical instrument, as far as he can tell.
Idiot.
You are led inward, and you make your way through this. It is like pseudo indoors, pseudo outdoors. It's like this compound that has been built out of the ramshackle guts of whatever buildings used to be here before. You do see there are like some individuals in here kind of going about various business. You see like off the one like down a little sort of like alleyway corridor thing, there is an open space where you see some guys are in the process of like they're counting out a bunch of coins on a table out of like a big sack. You see some individuals are moving they kind of go by with like a crate that looks like it is definitely some sort of like stolen goods taken from somewhere. And just sort of like people sort of moving around. And of course, like there's like a bunch of rats everywhere. There's like corners flitting from place to place, running across beams and rafters above you. Markedly more rats than the baseline level of rats that have been sort of in the rest of the city up to this point. And eventually you're brought into a building that has been like fairly decently reconstructed. You don't know whatever it might have been originally, but it is at this point has been sort of like rebuilt into a kind of a reinforced place of business, and you assume like dwelling in the upper parts. You're led into a room that is kind of like an office of that you would expect like a magistrate or somebody of import to maintain. Given the self-applied apparently moniker of Garl the Rat King, you're maybe expecting a throne room, but what you are led into is a fairly professional looking, almost like office space. And there is an individual sitting behind this large, fairly ornate wooden desk. He is sitting in a large, comfortable-looking red velvet upholstered high-back chair. He is human. He appears to be probably in his late 50s, maybe early 60s, but he's looks to be kind of young or appears young for whatever his age might be. He is huge. So Warwick was pretty big. This dude is as big, if not slightly taller than Warwick. Almost of the size of Ozrius, massive, broad across the chest. He's got gorilla arms, huge muscle-bound arms that he rests on the table in front of him. He wears he has this sort of a white button-up shirt, a vest over it. His sleeves are rolled to the elbows. You see that his forearms are covered in scars and tattoos all the way down to his hands, including his fingers and his knuckles, which are also tattooed. He has these fairly glorious mutton chops on either side of his face, which are appear to be very well kept. His hair is cut short. It is kind of a dark brown, but it is definitely flecked with streaks of gray at this point. And he has these flinty black eyes that are such a dark shade of brown that there's almost no discernible difference between iris and pupil, which gives him a little bit of a look, almost he's almost got shark eyes. And he looks up from papers that he has on his desk, and he says, "Well. It's been a number of years. Abraham Retlock, is it? And friends. I appreciate but you didn't start any trouble with my employees on the street earlier. They're just kids, eh? Haven't quite learned yet the sense in trying to hassle a potential mark against someone who's more trouble than they're worth. And me, I can tell just by looking at you lot. Now you're more trouble than you're worth. So, with that in mind, what is it that I can do for you that will get you out of my city as fast as possible?
Quick question. How many other people besides us and Garl are in the room?
In the room right now?
Yeah.
Just you and Garl. There was a couple of other individuals in this area, and you can hear that there's some people in adjacent rooms, pretty nearby, but at least right now it's just you and Garl.
Okay. I'll make it real easy for you. We just want some information, and then we'll be on our way.
Interesting. And what is the nature of this information?
We're looking to locate an item. Item that may have passed through the docks and has gone on to possibly one of the local auction houses.
I see. And what exactly is this item that you're looking for?
It's nothing too fancy, it's just an old book.
What's your want with it?
There's some suckers back in a different land that want it. And their gold's as good as anybody else's.
We'll see. I imagine that coming here and talking to me would not have been your first priority. Though I must imagine that you have done a little bit of your own detective work and come up short-handed, eh?
Not necessarily. I mean, we did find out which auction house it went to, right?
You did.
Yeah. What was the name of the one it went to?
The auction house that it went to that you learned. Was it like rename? Delio.
I've written it down.
I have
No.
just to find the notes here. You know that it went to the auction house of Bowker, Codwell, and Sweet.
We know where the book went. Went to good old Bowker Cut. What was it? Bowker Codway,
Codwell, and Sweet.
Codwell and Sweet. We know they have it. Hoping you can help us get it.
Hey. Well, and the question is, what's in it for me?
What do you want?
And he kind of grins and he says, "Funny you should ask. There actually is something that I'm in need of at the moment." He says, "I don't know if Warwick happened to mention it to you, terrible gossip he is, but we're having a little bit of trouble currently. Someone in this city is not respecting the status quo. Shaking things up in our territory. And I don't take kindly to that. He says, I'm currently in a little bit of a disagreement with a fellow by the name of Lemuel. And Mr. Lemuel, well, he fancies himself the next Rat King, doesn't he? Making moves on my territory, running his own hustles, putting his own people on the street. So here's my problem. I'm an enterprising gentleman. I don't mind the occasional friendly competition. But Mr. Lemuel does not have my scruples, you see. He doesn't have the respect for the certain codes of conduct that I maintain. Needless violence. Shakedowns getting out of hand. Selling bad batches of drugs laced with who knows what, making people sick, killing them. Interfering with City Watch members that are already on my take. stealing shipments of goods what belong to me. It's all very bad for business. Now, I'm not what you would call a saint. I don't pretend to be. But I run things a certain way. You know that. You know that as well as anyone. You was part of it for enough years. Long as the status quo stays in place, people don't have to get hurt. Things keep running, the world keeps turning. This Lemuel is shaking things up. And he's doing it like a damned idiot. And I don't like it. It's bad for business. It's bad for my loyal subjects. I'll run things smooth, professional. The only people to get hurt on my watch are the ones what need it. So this Lemuel is a problem for me. And a problem for the good people of Volrenon. Normally, I'd have done something about it myself already. But old Lemuel will be at the bottom of the ocean with a pair of concrete boots on. Problem is, he's got himself a pet bodyguard. Knows a bit of magic, as it were. What say you lot make my Lemuel problem go away? And if you do that, I will help you get whatever book it is that your heart desires.
Do you want a solution to this problem, or you want to send a message?
He kind of grins almost magnanimously, and he says, I am not in the business of micromanaging my contractors. You have full agency to resolve this in any manner that you see fit, so long as at the end of the day, I no longer have a problem with Lemuel making a move on my territory.
All right.
Right.
Why don't you gentlemen take a step outside? I'll get the details and then I'll join you momentarily.
Yeah, I'll step outside.
As will Aelar.
I will, but begrudgingly. It's
Okay.
fine.
Oz just like shoulders the door out of spite, just like
Yeah, just you can leave it in there. It's fine.
Okay. I'll wait for everybody to leave and I'll turn back to Garl. Now, I want you to be straight with me. This rival. See what you say is? Well, you're just laying it on thick because you want me to take him out for you.
Is there any reason it can't be both?
Not necessarily.
Your friends are well armed. One of them is damn near 15 feet tall. I suspect that if your skills are what they were back in the day when you worked for me, or if they've grown since then. If your friends are as capable as it, you're more than competent enough to handle this Lemure of mine. It's a problem I want handled. And here you come dropping into my lap just in time to handle it for me. So yeah, it's a problem I want handled, but I've not been dishonest about the situation. I don't
Fair
pretend
enough.
to be a good man. I don't pretend to even be a half-decent man. I know me, rotten to the core. But I respect the status quo. And I'll run my business efficiently and in a way what does not cause undue damage and harm. Because it's not profitable. That Mew is a friggin' amateur. Maniac besides. It's hurting my business and I want him taken care of, but if it helps you and your friends sleep at night, here's what I say is, less people will get hurt with me in charge the way I've always been, and if this is allowed to continue.
You know, you're not, not as scary as I remember you being when I was a kid. I don't know if
Shoulder
that's,
then.
I don't know if that's me misremembering or you're, I don't know, maybe you're losing touch. Back in the old days, you, would have taken care of this guy yourself. Wouldn't have been a problem for very long. Maybe you're losing it. I'm gonna look him dead in the eye, and he gets to make a wisdom save.
Has a 3 suit ya.
Ooh, he is now words of terror,
Sure
baby.
is. His outward expression does not change. He's been in this game far too long to show it. But you do see him begin to perspire a little bit. And he says, This world of kings and emperors, and trade barons, it's got no place in it for men like me and for you. Not unless we carve one ourselves, ripping and tearing with our bare ends and our teeth if we have to. I have carved a bloody path through the heart of this city and made my place in the world. The rich and the powerful, the high and mighty nobles, if they don't want to give a damn about me, if they don't want to respect me, if they don't want to recognize my worth, then I will make them by force. The only thing you get at the end of a life like the one that I have chosen to live is a dagger in the belly and your throat slit and kicked into a gutter. I will die on my feet when that day comes. And until then, I will do what I have to maintain the power that I have wrung from this world with my bare hands and the strength of my will. And nothing is going to take that from me.
Well, I didn't know if it was true, but you've lost it far worse than I ever thought you could. And as I'm speaking, I'm slowly like moving closer to him.
Yep. He pushes his chair back, and he is on his feet, and there is a long dagger in his hand. And he says, "Who told you that? Who have you been talking to, and what have you heard? Them you? Those bastards in the Brotherhood, what are they saying? This is my domain! This is my kingdom! What have you heard, damn it?"
And I hold my hands up and go, "I haven't heard anything. But I can see it in your eyes. You're definitely losing it. If you ever had it to begin with." And how close have I gotten to him?
I assume the desk is probably still between the two of you. But, like, you are close enough to, you could reach across and grab him if you wanted to.
I'm going to attempt to grab the opposite hand that the dagger is in, and pull the ring off his finger.
Okay. Make an attack roll. Melee, a touch. Let's call it a dexterity-based attack roll.
And if I have to, I got inspiration from chat, so if I have to, I'm going to use it. Okay, I'm going to use it.
Okay.
What roll was I making?
Dex-based attack roll.
It's an attack roll. Your dexterity modifier.
That's going to be a 25. Was that 19 plus 6?
You reach forward and you grab his hand. You wrench his wrist up across the table. It unbalances him in a way that prevents him from immediately trying to stab you as you're pulling his offhand, which definitely catches him off guard. And you wrench a ring off his finger, a ring that you have seen him wear every day of his life for as long as you have ever known him. It is a ring that it is plain black. It is sort of unornamented, unadorned, and it does sort of, it kind of is worked in such a way that it does sort of look like two rodents, two rats, intertwined by their tails. And you wrench the ring off of his finger, and you pull it into your own hand. So you have taken that from it.
I'm going to put it on. I assume it's an attunement item, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'm going to put it on, and I'm going to swing Bianca around. And I'm going to cast Speak with Animals. I'm going to talk to as many of the rats in the room as I can. And I will say out loud, do I speak out loud to talking with animals? Or is it a mental thing?
Speak with animals?
Speak with animals. I think
it is speak.
One? Is it only one animal, though, or is it multiple within the area?
You gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration. The knowledge and awareness of many beasts is limited by their intelligence, but at minimum, beasts can give you information about nearby locations.
Yeah, it says beasts, so I assume it means multiple.
Yeah.
You might be able to persuade a beast to perform a small favor for you at the GM's discretion.
I'm essentially, at DM's discretion. And I'm going to say to as many rats in the room as I can is go, I think he's taken advantage of you for long enough. He's all yours. I'm going to look him in the eye and go, well, you said you wanted to die on your feet. It's a good thing you're already standing up. And I'm going to hope that a swarm of rats attacks this man.
Okay, interesting. Number one, incredible. Number two, I did not see that coming at all.
I
Okay.
have a situation that I would like to throw in, depending on what Bram does, like to leave the room. If he's just standing there in the closed room by himself and he can't hear anything.
What are you doing
then-
after you like deliver this speech? Are you like turning around and walking cool guy style out of the room?
Yeah, hoping that the rats
Okay.
respond.
So if I see Bram do that and I see a swarm of rats start running into the room, I'm going to lean in and cast Silence centered on him.
Does that require?
Herbal and Sabbatic only.
Do you need a spell focus to do it?
No.
No. Okay. Let's see. So Walter, make a perception check. Bram, make a persuasion check.
Okay.
I only got an 8, so.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
It's a 20, not natural. It was a 15 plus 5.
Here's what happens then. You deliver this speech. You cast Speak with Animals. I'm gonna figure out what the best way to like explain this is. So you don't necessarily. So the way that I have always sort of intimated Speak with Animals is that to a certain degree it's less verbal necessarily than it is like you just sort of get the like the thoughts and sensations that like ask for sort of like the understanding and communication of animals. So I think what you get, not to rob us of the opportunity to have a bunch of rats go, yeah, let's get this guy. Oh, what a real shit this guy has been. Oh boy, what a douche. Let's get him. Not to rob us of that delight, but you get the sense, sort of as a sort of Speak with Animals communication back from like the rats of this area, that Garl the Rat King has never been necessarily cruel to the rats. But when you pulled that ring off of his finger, the dominion that he seemed to hold over them, the sort of overriding of their own natural instinct to look out for one thing and one thing only above all else, themselves and their kind, that overriding influence that he had maintained on them had been broken when you pulled the ring. So your communication with these rats is, for a moment, it is like a sense of them sort of like, it's almost, you seem like they're like coming out of a dream, as if they're trying to kind of like realize that they have been sort of under the sort of the Pied Piper spell of Garl the Rat King for so long, for all of their lives, some of them. And the next thing you sense is not malice, not anger, not fury directed at Garl the Rat King. The impulse of revenge is not something that is natural to the rats. It's not something that is in their vernacular. But what rats do understand is that everything is food. As you step out of the office, close the door behind you, you hear,
Right. No, no. Stay back. I've been good to you. I've helped you, I've fed you. This is, no, stop. What, oh, no.
Sorry.
and the many scrabbling-footed, swishing-tailed sound of hundreds of rats emerging from the darkness, from the crevices of the room, scrabbling across the floor, and swarming on top of Garl the Rat King, and his screams as he is devoured are cut off as you close the door.
Aelar's just watching the outside room, waiting to see if somebody, decides to get frisky.
Nothing has happened yet, but you, you probably don't have long before, all hell is gonna break loose. As, somebody is going to hear that, and some shit's gonna go down.
As soon as I hear it, I'm absolutely casting. Pop the door open, cast silence on him. He can
You pop the door open. Silence, and you shut the door again.
I'll be like, I'm just gonna say, 10 minutes. Let's go get our stuff.
Oh, look, I found 5 gold.
Aelar just.
What keeps happening? I don't know why it keeps happening.
I just set a swarm of flesh-eating, devouring rats on my childhood abuser and slumlord. He is currently being eaten alive in a horrible death scene, and all of his minions are probably going to try and kill us in a minute, so we're going to have to run for our lives outside of this slum. Oh, hey! Gold coin!
Hey, gold coin! Oh, that's fine.
All right.
So Aelar is going to draw the dagger, but he's going to conceal it in his sleeve. All right, let's get going.
What was the name of the guy at the door?
Warwick.
Warwick?
Warwick. Yeah, I knew it was a W. I couldn't remember what it was. Okay, I'm gonna head to find Warwick.
You make your way back to the front of the complex here. You exit out. All of your stuff is still on the table, so you're able to grab your stuff up easily, no problem. And Warwick is at his post before, so whatever may be about to break loose does not word of it does not appear to have reached up here yet.
So I go to Warwick and I go, well, that was a very pleasant meeting I had with the boss. And I put my hand on his shoulder and I go, congratulations, you've just been promoted. And I slap him on the face a little bit and I turn and leave.
Aelar finishes grabbing up his weapons and he's right behind Bram.
He stares at you for a moment as you turn and walk away, and you guys walk past him, and then you hear him jump to his feet, and the gate bangs open, and Warwick goes running back towards where Garl was, and you guys are making your way away, and you notice as you guys are getting away from this particular area, you're making your way through the scab, you're making your way, out towards the remainder of the city. The city's rats are all seem to be moving in the same direction as you. They all seem to be moving away from this epicenter that was the Rat King's domain. as you guys make it sort of it bounds the outskirts of the scab, and kind of as things start to buildings start to be a little more put together, the people are a little less destitute. I think that's a good place to take a break for the night. So
Yes.
for those of you with us, thank you for joining us. For those of you guys who have been donating, we've got some bits donations here. Thank you for those, to everybody who has donated bits. Some of us donated bits to ourselves to give ourselves gold. That's fine. So thank you guys all for sticking with us so far. Give us about 5-10 minutes to take a quick break, and then we will return for the remainder of tonight's episode. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Poo poo pee pee.
Welcome back. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Poo poo pee pee.
Stupid.
Going great.
Exclamation point poo poo pee pee in the chat for nothing to happen. So we return. Everybody has refilled their drinks, stretched their legs, emptied their bladders, professed their undying love to a
Rat.
rat.
You
I was gonna say
goddamn right.
to a missed connection that they had years ago, but sure, all right.
Absolutely. Yep.
Welcome to Delve Requisite. We heart pizza rat. So before we left for our break, the gang went to the scab and they went to the hideout of slumlord known as the Rat King, Garl the Rat King, who shares a apparently colored and somewhat complicated past with Bram. Some of the details of which I don't think really we have made clear here. But they were apparently such that Bram's approach to the Rat King was to steal a ring off of him, and then convince a horde of rats to devour him alive.
Like you do.
Like you do. You know. And now the group is moving at best pace away from the scab into the more civilized portions of the city. And the next move is yours. I'll get out of the way, turn it over to you guys.
Bram, what happened back there?
A lot of stuff happened back there. Bottom line is a man got eaten by rats. So
That's a pretty deep bottom line.
first things first. I don't know about anybody else, but I need a drink.
Yeah,
You know, that's a good idea.
That sounds appropriate after the, you know. did they call
I
you the
see
rat
there's a
catcher?
tavern not too far ahead. Let's pop in.
Sign says Dirty Mike's. Do you really want to go to Dirty Mike's?
Does it say Dirty Mike's and then right beside it the boys? Because yes.
Does it? I don't know. Yes.
Is there a
right.
DM? Is there a bar that says Dirty Mike and then the boys?
Yeah, let me roll for it.
Yeah, please.
Yes.
Was that the dice
Cool.
that only says
Cool.
yes?
That was the sometimes
roll for
that
it.
was the sometimes you roll the dice for the noise it makes roll. And then you just yes end whatever stupid bullshit your players came up with. So
Dirty
you
Mike's
guys
is-
kick in the door. You kick in the door to Dirty Mike's, and there is immediately a gnome standing on several crates in the corner who goes, "Next up to the main stage, let's welcome Ray the Jackhammer. Ray,
Oh, God.
ladies." And
Okay.
a bunch of middle-aged ladies go, "Woo!" As a full-on Furbolg comes out. He's like,
Oh, don't like that. I'm gonna cast blindness on myself. And I'm gonna choose to fail.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen. How is in an episode where a man was devoured by rats that wasn't the most horrifying thing to happen?
I think I'm gonna turn to
Think
the
of
girl.
D&D, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna be like, you know what? This isn't my thing, but I think I want to go to the boys. I think Dirty Mike's is a little crowded. I'm gonna be over at the
After
boys.
witnessing what we're seeing right now, Ozrius, you want to go to a place called The Boys?
You know,
Yes.
Oz, I know sometimes big city life is hard, but I'm pretty sure the boys was actually the menu item, not the Not another name of a bar.
That's right, ladies. You're seeing Ray the Jackhammer's signature move, the Volandan Windmill.
I'm glad I get to
just-
see this.
Okay, first things first. First things first. Let's try the boys. Second thing, why is it not the jackhammer? Third thing, let's get out of here.
I'm gonna throw one gold coin over before we leave. They work very hard.
You guys exit, and you go over to, for some reason, the tavern that's right next door, called The Boys. And you enter into that one, and it is kind of a dingy bar, but it is quiet, and you are not assaulted by the image of a windmilling furball penis. So there's that.
Dear God.
We walk up to the bar as one, put down some coin, and just point at bottles, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bartender comes up. He goes, "Hey, how's it going?" And he scrapes the coin across the bar. There, he says. He looks at you. He says, "I've seen this look a million times before. You guys accidentally walked into Dirty Mike's, huh?
The jackhammer was up.
Oh, that's a rough one." He says,
Okay.
I blinded myself, but didn't do enough.
It's that kind of day.
Yeah, that's rough. That's real rough.
Can you tell me if Jackhammer ever comes in here? Because if so, I don't want to be here.
I thought that was going a totally different way.
He says, listen. I mean, look, it's maybe some people wouldn't consider it the most respectable profession, but work is work. People got to do what they got to do to make a few extra coins on the side. And as it turns out, the jackhammer is actually trying to pay his way through architecture school. He's a pretty good guy if you get to know him a little bit.
Yeah, I'm full.
One leverage every
I think
asset
we
you
know
have.
it pretty well.
I love his work ethic and his character. I just don't want to see the windmill in my eyes anymore.
He says, I am afraid that you will see that when you close your eyes from now on. Unfortunately, I've heard that.
Yeah,
Aelar is full on
trying
Archer
real hard not to
drinking
blink
from the
right
bottle.
now.
Just
Anyway, here's a bunch of beers.
What's your strongest, cheapest drink?
Says, well, we only have the one. It's just this beer. Here you go. That's all we got. It's all we serve here. It's this one.
And why did you? Never mind.
Aelar's already. If one was set out, Aelar's already drinking it Archer style. Just
Yeah, Bram will down it immediately, and he'll turn to the bartender and go, How much do you have to pay for these glasses? Do you get them wholesale, or with tankards, whatever we're drinking from?
Whatever the fuck it is.
He goes, well, this is Wildemount. So as you might know, based on your accent, you do seem to be a local. So as you might know, like most establishments here in the city, we do have a monthly glassware budget that we maintain because we do assume that at least a certain percentage of our glassware is going to be smashed into the heads and/or faces and/or floor of various clientele.
Cool. And on that note, Bram will just... I will have another drink.
He already sees sits one in front of you.
And Bram will down that. And then in true fashion, he will go over to the nearest wall and punch it.
Aelar's downing
This is
his
horrible.
second, just seeming not to breathe. Just
You got a cup big enough?
He goes, yeah, hang on. He gets like
A mop
what
bucket.
looks like a mop bucket that somebody has like bolted a handle to. And he goes, there you go. So we don't get many folks your size through here, but on occasion we keep the we call that the Grande Supreme. That's a Grande
That'll-
Supreme mug. Mead
For that
ale
alone,
cup.
Aelar just puts out a silver coin. For the name alone.
I appreciate it. Says, yeah, there you go.
Sprinkle a little dirt on the table, on the bar top. I'll be like, thank you.
All right,
I have to clean this up now.
but I have to wipe that up later. But thank you, I suppose.
You're welcome. Your payment, sir.
All
But
right,
here's it.
Bram.
I'm gonna turn to Bram, Aelar, and just kind of like mouth like, didn't he find 5 gold on the ground, like at the murder house?
Shut up. Just look at one of these. Shut up. Shut up.
After downing his second drink, Aelar is going to approach Bram. I'm not going to ask if you're okay, because you're most definitely not.
Nope.
I am going to ask, are you up for completing our assignment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good answer.
Just say, I spent a lot of years thinking about that, and, I thought it would feel better than it did.
Bonus round question: are you going to leave it on your hand? I don't think the bartender's noticed yet.
You talking about the ring? Or the,
Yeah. I assume you're still wearing it, unless
yeah.
you like pocketed it.
Is it like a thing that like any schmuck might know, like recognize? No. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not.
It's
not
not that,
an-
like, even as a person who worked for him and in his organization for the years that you did as a youth, the fact that like you even know that it's anything other than just like a ring
Is rare.
is not the norm.
Okay.
I understand. Believe me. I know what the desire for revenge is. Maybe not your specific flavor, but I get it.
Yeah, he he's the one responsible for getting me mixed up with the Brotherhood in the first place, so guess you could say he had it coming. Surprised somebody else didn't get to him first. He did it to a lot of kids.
Yeah, but you were the one that played it out. Fair is fair. You were the one to do it. You had to do what you had to do, Bram.
Yeah. It's funny. Because, I'm the one who had to do it because I'm the one who got out. A lot of them didn't get out. Anyway. It's a better world without him. Not that whoever takes his place is going to be that much better, but they can't be any worse.
True.
Well, there'll be chaos. But someone will climb to the top.
Yeah, it's a natural order of things. And I don't feel like sticking around in this town long enough to do it myself.
We got bigger fish.
Well, I think if everybody's had their fill here, we should head to the auction house, no? Maybe give some time for word to spread about Garl, and then maybe go see the guy he was trying to get us to kill. See if he knows what we needed.
Well, if we're very lucky, we'll get the name of the buyer from the auction house. Or if they still have it. If they do. We might not even need the mule.
Let's hope we get lucky, because I don't think I can pull that rats eating people thing off a second time. It was like a one-shot, one-off thing. So we better hope it works out.
Well, you're up for it. You do the talking. If need be, maybe do some distraction. I'm no good at talking my way out of things, but kind of good at sneaking into places.
All right, let's do it.
All right. You guys pay your tab, you finish your drinks, pack up. Bartender says, you have a good day now, gentlemen. See you on your way. And just before you go, I just thought I might, word of friendly advice. One chump in this town to another, but I want to take a just a moment of self-reflection on your sort of reactions to the establishment next door there, and maybe maybe consider your own internalized prejudices and things of that nature, and just give some thought to the old reaction there to a man who is ostensibly just trying to make his way in this world and make an honest living, and doesn't have any business going on down there than any of the rest of us don't, if you know what I'm talking about, except for my cousin, who does have a truly upsetting situation down there from what I have heard, but that is neither here nor there. But hey, who am I to judge? But
Oz, I'm gonna need you to windmill your dick in front of this man. He likes it.
Oz, please don't.
Wait a minute. Are you, sir?
The proprietor of this place is right.
We don't have the
should
proper
re-examine
licensure for that type of thing in this establishment anyway.
Oh no!
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
Run your mouth off.
Wait a minute. I said that this man, I respect his profession and the way that he wants to uphold his life. I don't care about that. I just wasn't expecting to walk in and see a windmill running in my face. I am glad for their life choices and whoever they wish they want to be. I'm for it. I didn't want to get an eye full windmill. I was unprepared. There should be a sign outside. I don't see a sign.
I respect that, first of all. But second of all, why don't you just step outside with me for a minute?
Fine, we'll step outside.
Brings you outside the establishment. These two buildings next to each other. The bar that you have just walked out of. And he says, my friend, a sign for Dirty Mike's is in fact a cutout of like a dude like this, and the words "Dirty Mike's" do descend vertically from between his legs, and he goes, come on.
You put that there. You just put that there.
I thought it was the stick to hold it up. I didn't expect that.
I thought it was some sort of abstract art thing. I didn't look at it that hard.
I do.
It's all right. It is our fault.
If anything, this is Walter's fault, because he saw the place first.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This is all Walter's fault.
Walter, do we need to tell your wife something?
I apologize. I can read all languages, but unfortunately, I cannot translate them well.
He can read all languages, but unfortunately, he's stupid in all of them.
I can't read the room.
That's
I read the room.
lesson
and it was
has been
horrible.
learned.
It was horrifying.
a moral has been gained,
Yes.
and things have been seen that cannot be unseen.
And I'm so glad for their profession, and I hope that they get through that college, and I hope they have a happy life.
And
I wish them luck in their architecture.
Yes.
Right then, auction house.
As we're walking away, I'll be like, hey, so not only should we never talk about this again, but let's also never come to this part of town ever again.
Let's not, please.
I'm absolutely okay with this.
Thanks a lot, Walter. All right.
So you guys are heading
Where'd
for the auction house, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Takes about 30 minutes to get from where you guys are to one of the enormous lifts that rise on this sheer cliff face that leads up to the elevated portion of the city that sits on the high sort of plateau-like overhang that looms over the large sprawl of Volrenheim from below. The lift itself is this huge platform of like massive wood reinforced with metal like lift cars that are fully enclosed on the sides with safety railings. These enormous heavy duty chains in these like these huge like cog cranked gears. You don't see the mechanism by which these things are being turned, but you basically see that like these huge cars come down the sides of the cliff on these two huge tracks that have been securely attached into the very cliff wall itself. They lower down and people kind of all pile on. You pay a couple of copper pieces as a fare to get onto the lift here, and it 5 minutes later or so lifts up, and you are granted a spectacular view of the city as you rise hundreds of feet into the air on this lift towards the upper portion of the city here. You're able to look out across the sprawl, out towards the docks, out into the out over like the ocean. You see one of the city's lighthouses on a small spit of land just off the shore. From this height, the sort of like the dirt and grit and grime and congestion of the city falls away. The air is fresher up here, cleaner, and it is almost beautiful in its way. This complicated, sprawling, almost organism of the city that is stretched out before you, almost as far as you can see to your left and to your right. But you eventually reach the pinnacle of the elevator's journey, and you step off the platform onto the like loading and unloading area at the upper portion of this southeastern. So like on the map here, it's the lift that you guys take is the one that's like right next to me there. And you step up into Hightown. So that massive cliff wall, this portion up here is fairly well leveled off. You know that this is where like the ruling elite of the city lives. You can see like there is some changes in topography. There's a couple of places where there's like some of these slight rises, and you can see these like large, grandiose estate houses are built on some of these. There's these elegant, more sizable homes. They're more spacious. The roads are wider. Everything is cleaner. There's a lot more like greenery. Things seem much more well maintained here. You can see there is like actively city watch and guard presence like on the street corners here. and they look, their uniforms are clean and pressed and orderly, and the watchmen themselves here look friendly towards the sort of the general population that they're there to like protect, as opposed to being on a scale of like indifferent towards actively hostile to the denizens of the city that you guys have witnessed as you've sort of moved from portion to portion of the city elsewhere. The massive structure of the Morgan Feller and Karn counting house that sits right on the tip there looms high above everything else here. The sort of top spire of that reaching to the uppermost, the highest point in the city. And you guys head off in the direction that you were told that the auction house that you're looking for is. It takes you probably another 15-20 minutes of a walk to reach the specified address, and what you come across is a building that sits on the corner overlooking a sort of a large spacious plaza with a fountain in the center. The plaza itself is lined by, or is ringed and surrounded by little cafes and shops, and there is benches and tables and things have been set out in the open space of this plaza where people are sitting and reading books or eating. There is a string quartet is set up in front of one of the establishments, playing some music. The fountain in the center has people kind of gathered around it, sitting on the edges. You see somebody flips a coin into the shallow water. And the auction house of Barker, Codwell and Sweet is a 3-story building that sits right in this corner, making it it sort of comes to a kind of like an A shape, almost like this. The main entrance of it being right at the apex on the corner. It has these large windows that have been cleaned immaculately, displaying the interior of the primary floor, which almost looks like a sort of a fancy country club or lodge, lounge area. There's tables and places where people would sit and chat and sort of rub elbows with the other patrons. You can see up on the second floor, the windows, looks like the space is much more open. You assume that's probably the auction floor area. And from the ground, you're not really sure what's up on the third floor, but it does have a 3-story building. Currently, the the building is, from what you can see from the outside, largely empty right now. The front doors are open. But you get the sense there's probably not an auction today. There's a couple of people sitting in some of the lounges and chairs on the first floor. There is a sort of a front desk type of area, and there's an individual behind it who appears to be a very prim, well-dressed looking half-elven gentleman. But it is otherwise kind of quiet, it seems. There's probably, there's not the amount of people you would expect if there was going to be an active auction taking place in the establishment.
Before we go in, Bram would have used his can't remember what it's called, the glamored studded leather, and changed into just a shirt and suspenders with pants hiked up really high, and will have pulled up a large pair of spectacles out of his pocket and got the bod right there.
I was gonna say I will also disguise self into something presentable, but he broke the glasses out already, so
They were sitting on the desk, so I couldn't not.
I'm
just gonna go in raw. That's it.
Oh. Well,
ours went back to Dirty Mike's.
That's the end. I
Uh,
stand right there. We're never gonna.
Aelar is going to keep his distance from the group. He's going to split off from them a bit before they head in.
Okay. So Bram, Walter, and Oz, you guys are going in, and Aelar, you're staying outside.
Yes, for at least the first little bit.
Alrighty. So Bram, you enter. You see the half-elven gentleman behind the like sort of front counter. Also in the room there are a pair of this like large sort of rotund walrus mustachioed gentleman, and a sort of a slender well-dressed man, who are sitting together in a pair of chairs, talking to each other. There is an old lady, an old human woman, in a sort of like a high-collared, formal gown. She has like a little handbag purse thing, and as you watch, she appears to be like cracking and eating like pistachios out of it, and is sort of just like, she's by herself, and she's sort of like looking over the room. You see her like look to you as you guys come in, and she gives you this like deeply calculating once over as you guys walk in, from her position. But you enter in, and the half-elf behind the bar says, "Welcome to Bowker Caldwell and Sweet Auction House of Volrenheim. I do not believe I've seen you before here. Welcome nonetheless. What can I help you with? I regret to inform you there is no scheduled auction for today."
Well, that's quite all right. I was. Oh my god! You could give us some information, my good sir.
More than happy to. What, pray tell, information is it that I can help you with? Mr.
Bookman? Mr. Bookman.
Bookman, was it?
Yes, Ezekiel Bookman.
Well, Mr. Bookman, I am delighted to make your acquaintance. I am Agnardo Vanderbilt III.
Charmed, I'm sure. Well, you see, my friends and I here are, we're what you might call collectors, and it's rather apt that my last name is Bookman, because we do collect books.
Noble pursuit indeed. A gathering and storing of vast collections of knowledge, creativity, stories that ignite the imagination, stimulate the intellect. Yes, the collection of books, a noble pursuit indeed.
Yeah. But we're not interested in fiction or anything like that type of thing. We're looking for what I think the kids would call non-fiction.
I see. We do have a first edition, complete, as I understand it, with original dust jacket, collection of R.W. Weldon Watch's treatise on river fishing techniques coming in for next month's auction. Undoubtedly
Walter
hot item.
immediately leaves at the words river fishing because he wants to Eldritch Blast them in the face for saying it. So I will just immediately turn on my heel and just start walking quickly towards the entrance.
What name did you just speak to me? What orphan name did you just speak to me?
I already forgot.
R.W. Waldenweld, I believe, was.
I asked you because I already forgot. R.W. Waldemount. And he gets very loud. I thought that this was a reputable establishment. You say, are you Wallenheim to me? No. I wouldn't wipe my tushy with Wallenheim. No.
Very well. Gentlemen of impeccably discerning taste, I see. So impeccable is your taste that it appears to be making me more ridiculous just by speaking to you. I promise you this is not intentional. I can't seem to help myself.
It's okay. I seem to be forgetting what my voice is as well.
In that manner, is there a particular subject or book that you are looking for? If we do not have a source on it now, we can, of course, try to research it for future upcoming auctions.
Well, yes, we're most interested in. Well, I've forgotten what book we're actually here.
Translocating magic.
Anything that has to do with
My God.
the translocative magic.
Rats and fiddlesticks. You just missed an auction that would have been of great interest to you. We just auctioned off a rather rare edition of a particularly difficult to find volume of the complete collections on the development of the translocative teleportation spell, written by, of course, the apprentice to the inventor of the spell himself, who, as we all know, did die tragically in the process of the invention of the spell. But yes, we had a copy of such book came through here just the other week, and sold for quite a pretty penny, if I do say so myself.
You'd be fucking kidding me. I mean, what a misfortune on our part. This wasn't even remotely the voice I started with. I would like to know who, if I may.
Sir,
Who
good
purchased
sir,
it?
what part of the world are you from? Your accent is so peculiar.
I'm
Seems to
from
be a bit all over the place.
I'm from East.
East? East of what? That would be the ocean, based on our current topography.
East of here.
Yes, ocean, as we've established.
Yes, but eventually, after the ocean, there is land.
Oh my God! What is
Sort of doing a-
going on with this
We're
conversation?
doing a Jeff Goldblum thing now.
And if there is land, life finds a way.
Yes.
Walter, are they having a stroke? Is he having a stroke right now?
I'm having a stroke right now.
I'm having a stroke.
But yeah, well, I was just wondering, could you tell me who it sold to? I might perhaps persuade them to let me take a, as the kids say, gander at it.
I am terribly sorry, but we make a strict policy of maintaining confidentiality of our sales. You know how the state of the collectors community is. Forever those in equal factions believing that the private collector should have a right to buy and treasure troves of knowledge and artifact and art and beauty from days past, and those who would see it stuffed away in the vaults of the Ordinum Libra, never again to see the light of day.
Yes, that would be a terrible thing. But perhaps, just this once, you didn't do any of that, and you told me, because I seem like a nice fellow.
Persuasion check.
Ooh, it's an 18 plus. Is it persuasion?
Yeah.
It's 18 plus 5.
He said, it's not my policy, you see. It's the owners of the establishment. I would get in a dreadful amount of trouble, but and he sort of like looks conspiratorially. He says, there is no rules that bind other patrons of the auction house from discussing who in affluent social circles may or may not have attended particular auctions, and I can offer you this little bit of obligation, contractually binding rules of my employment breaking gossip, and tell you that good lady over there, eating the pistachios from her handbag and giving you a rather appraising stink eye, was in attendance at the auction at which the book that you seek was sold. But you didn't hear it from me.
God.
I didn't hear what from you.
Oh my god.
That's the spirit. We're being so naughty today. I love it.
Well,
I'm about to eat
and
this
I say it
acorn.
loudly to
and
like
grow
the
a tree in
empty
my
house.
intestines.
Well, it's a shame you couldn't help us. We will be on our way now.
I apologize profusely that I couldn't help you. Good day.
Outside, Aelar has heard half of this and is just going, oh.
And I will turn and make my way towards Madame Pistachio.
You head over towards Madame Pistachio.
Pistachio.
She, you guys approach, and she looks at you. The gaze that she fixes upon you is like, seems to convey like a deep sense of disappointment in like just civilization in general. Humanity would not be the right word, as that isn't really applicable for D&D, but like just people. She just fixes you with this like world weary stare, and she says, I have to warn you, if this discussion is anywhere near as tedious as the one that I just had to fucking listen to you have with that ponce behind the counter, I am going to find out if there is a lethal dose of pistachios that a person can eat and try to kill myself.
I'm gonna point at Oz and say, he has exactly what you need.
She like glances over to Oz and she goes, and she looks back to you, Bram, and she goes, all right, Christ. Sit down. I feel like I'm staring up from the bottom of a fucking well.
Okay. We're gonna take a seat.
Let's all take a seat.
Yeah, we're all gonna take a seat now. I'm not gonna dismiss back talk a pistachio lady here.
She says, "My name is Ajandi Saranjapur. Who I am is not important. Who are you? And what is it that you're asking him about books for?"
I am
No,
Ezekiel.
fuck, don't. Stop it. Your normal voice. Christ.
I am Ezekiel. But okay.
She like she looks like she was about a half a second to like, all right, I'm just gonna talk to one of the other two.
My name is also not important. But what is important is we would like to do business with you. And you're not.
She says, it sounds more like to me that you're interested in doing business with whoever bought the translocative magic book, as opposed to me necessarily.
Yeah, that's correct, but we also have to do business with you to get to that.
No, I'll just tell you who fucking bought the book. I mean, there are rules here. Absolutely exhausted.
Okay.
She says, hang on, I'm thinking.
Okay. Okay.
I'm gonna peek out the door and look for a hag hut just in case. Been tricked by old ladies before.
You don't see a hag hut. Here it is. She says, the book that you're looking for, along with one of the magical swords that they sold in that same lot, was bought by a wealthy Ignian nobleman's son. They maintain an estate here that the son has been living in for some time. His father is a smart enough player in the political field. I have at least some respect for him. His son is a fucking moron. The person that you're looking for is named Vatoris Willowsong. Their estate is not a 10-minute walk from this very auction house. It's a big, god-awful, ostentatious thing that just absolutely screams of overcompensating for tiny little shriveled cocks.
Can we adopt her?
Maybe.
She says, Vatoris comes in here every once in a while because he likes to throw his money around buying things that he either has no idea what they are or thinks they look pretty. The book, if I remember it correctly, was purchased specifically because he was trying to woo some socialite that wouldn't pay a lick of attention to him otherwise unless he slapped an enormous sack. She eats a pistachio. Of gold down on the table.
Well, I think that's all we need to know from you. Enjoy your pistachios, and I hope that we never meet again.
Likewise, I'd be thrilled. Oh, the one thing. Since I so generously gave you this information, if you do happen to go Willowsong's estate. When you do happen to reacquire your book, do me a favor and break something in there while you're at it.
And do.
You got it.
Good.
I like this person.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Might even be someone.
Yeah, can it be someone?
We are quickly approaching the point of I don't want to fucking know about this so I don't have to indict myself to the gods later.
Sounds good to me.
Goodbye now.
Okay, bye. Just get up and walk out the door. We gotta.
Aelar's been
Also-
loitering out.
In case you're bored later, there's a bar downtown that you should go visit.
He goes, what are you talking about, dirty mics? Maybe if I was 40 years younger and swung that way, but no thank you.
Fair.
Well,
Fair.
okay. You ruined my prank. I was trying to windmill that lady.
She's been windmilled one too many times.
All right. Let's get the ever-loving hell out of here.
Aelar will join up with them shortly after they leave. We have a name?
Yeah, Ezekiel Bookman, the worst character I've ever come up with. Remind me to never use it again.
That god-awful thing. I heard half of what you and that trucked up Ponce at behind the table were talking about. I'm pretty sure he was flirting with you. I'm talking about, do we have a name of who has the book?
We do.
And?
And that would imply that I haven't already forgotten it.
I look over at Walter.
Something Wellspring?
I don't remember the name, but the house is the
Is that right,
old,
Jelka?
the old lady who is cannot possibly be more than like 4.5 feet tall. It's like this little slip of a thing in this like bright purple high colored gown, like totters out, just her little purse clutched in her hand. She sees the group of you standing there, and she looks at you and she goes, "You already fucking forgot the name I gave you, didn't you?"
He's terrible named. I apologize for not being in there with them.
Yeah, their name is...
May I ask for
Vaterus Willowsong, rich
Um.
idiot and son of Glendoris Willowsong, trade merchant from the Empire.
does that
Yeah, I remember.
ring a bell
Boy,
with Aelar?
Tatter's Pillow Song. I remembered it.
Yeah. Flatulous slipper some.
Aelar's just
Spatula's
going, I'm sorry.
Lipalum. Yeah, we got it. Don't worry.
we got it.
Does that ring a bell with Aelar at any point?
Probably not. He's not like not like an enormously high ranking.
Just
a rich idiot.
Yeah. Okay.
She points. She goes, 3 blocks that way. 1 block over, on a small hill. It's a green house with dark, nearly black shutters. That's the Willowsong estate.
Aelar sketches a slight bow. Many thanks.
She says, and because
Come
they're
on, you
apparently too
three.
stupid to remember anything, break something for me while you're in there.
That I remembered.
That I remember. I can
Well,
break
that's an
something.
Ignean name, so I would have done so for free.
She goes,
Now it's going to
"Good."
be even more of a pleasure.
You see how big that guy is? There's a good chance we're gonna break something just getting in the front door.
Exactly.
Come on!
Says, based on our
Aelar
interaction
just
so far,
grabs
there's a
Bram
good
and
chance
starts
you are
dragging
going to
him.
get arrested and hung for thievery, but that's neither here nor there.
We try to incriminate you, bye!
She goes, I don't deny I ever met you, bye! she leaves.
Oh my god.
See, Aelar, always make them think you're an idiot. This way, when you're not an idiot, You can...
You'll be an idiot.
No. I don't know where I was going with that. Anyway, off to Bibbledy Dibbledy's house, or whatever the fuck.
Slipper Saloon. Let's go there.
Oh my dear
Alrighty.
gods.
Well, as the crew heads off towards the estate of Vapulous Whipplewhap, that's where we'll end tonight's session. Goodness. Well, hey, for those of you who endured the absolute gauntlet that was about the last 20 minutes of your listening experience, thank you for sticking with us. You're a true hero in every sense of the word. And we appreciate everybody who stuck with us during tonight's stream.
Yeah.
As
Yes.
always,
Thank you, and I'm sorry.
yes,
I'm not
always,
sorry.
should be our every week sign off is thank you and we're sorry. But as always, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys, my players, for coming out and playing with me. Thank you to Proficiency Bonus' sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle Games. We encourage you to check back here every single day of the week, pretty much, as we have all sorts of fun content right here in Proficiency Bonus, other D&D, other tabletop games, other all sorts of different things. I imagine a remastered Mass Effect playthrough from Christy Mystic Water is going to be coming very shortly. So there's that to look forward to in the future, as well as all other sorts of things. Plus, as always, right here on Tuesdays, either these morons or the other morons in the other half of the Delve Requisite campaign, the Fool's Errant and the Grimm's Folly, the two sides of the same coin that is the Delve Requisite universe. So thank you for sticking with us. We have appreciated having you with us tonight, and we have enjoyed getting to play with you and tell some stories for a few hours. So, until next time, Bram, before I forget, I do want to have you mark down, take a point of DM's inspiration for your character, for your confrontation of Garl the Rat King tonight. And all of you at home, take a point of DM's inspiration for being
Enjoying that.
beautiful and fantastic. So, until next time, when you are convincing a bunch of rats to devour a slumlord alive, make sure that your rally speech is appropriately motivating for rat needs, and don't forget to add your proficiency bonus. See you next time. Good night, everybody.